So welcome all of you for the course Concrete Technology. So we're discussing about cement. So in the previous class we have discussed the different types of cements, right? And in the previous class, so we have discussed about various compositions, right? So today we will discuss about the chemical composition and what is the hydration process, what is the bogus compounds in the cement. So first of all, we should know what is the chemical composition of the Portland cement. So this we have discussed already in the previous classes, but still we are reminding this once again here. The oxide compositions of the ordinary Portland cement. So was on a CaO. So it is around 60 to 67% in the cement. CaO is 60 to 67% in cement. It controls the strength, soundness, deficiency. What is the deficiency of CaO if it is reduced? I mean, the CaO percentage is around 50, so that is called deficiency. So deficiency in the CaO reduces the strength of the cement and setting time. So if it is excess, if it is more than 67%, so makes the cement unsound. It makes the cement unsound. Similarly, SiO2, silicon dioxide, so which is around 17 to 25%. It gives the strength. If it is excess, it causes the slow setting. Setting will be very slow in case of the excess of SiO2 present in the cement. So Al2O3, so it should be around 3 to 8%. 3 to 8% and responsible for quick setting. So Al2O3 is responsible for quick setting, and if it is excess, it lowers the strength. If it is excess, it lowers the strength. Fe2O3. So it is around 0.5 to 6%, 0.5 to 6% in the cement. It gives the color. It gives the color and helps in fusion. So especially ferrous oxide, it gives the color to the cement and it helps in fusion. So magnesium oxide MgO, so it is around 0.5 to 4%. It imparts the color, hardness, and if it is excess, it remains in free state. So even if it is more than 4%, it remains in free state and causes the cracks in cement and concrete and weakens the cement. So it is going to weaken the cement. So SO3 it is around 1 to 2%. SO3 is around 1 to 2% and makes the cement sound. It makes the cement sound. Alkalis, so Na2O, K2O, it should be around 0.4 to 1.3%. So these are residues. Though if it is more than 1.3%, in the cement, the alkalis percentage is more than 1.3%. It causes the efflorescence and cracks. Efflorescence and cracks in the concrete. So these are the main oxides compositions in the ordinary Portland cement. And as per the Indian standards, for 33 grade cement, as per IS 269 1989, so these are the chemical requirements. So the ratio of the percentage of lime and the percentage of silica. So lime saturation factor. So we have to calculate the lime saturation factor by using this, and should not be greater than 1.02 and less than 0.66. Lime saturation factor should be less than 1.02 and less than 0.66, and it should not be greater than 1.02. So ratio of percentage of alumina to that of iron oxide, it should not be not less than 0.66%. And the weight of insoluble residue, it should not be more than 4%, and the weight of magnesia should be more than 6%. Total sulfur content and calculated sulfuric when anhydride SO3. So it should not be more than 2.5%. And C3A is 5% or less. So not more than 3% when C3 is more than 5%. And total loss in ignition, should not be more than 5%. So these are the chemical compositions, chemical requirements as per IS 269 1989 for the cement. So especially we are discussing about cement. So what is setting? What is setting and what is hardening? What are the bogus compounds? Generally, we'll refer for the concrete technology. Setting. Setting of cement refers to changes of cement paste. Changes of cement paste from fluid to rigid state. So setting is nothing but setting of cement refers to of changes of cement paste from the fluid to rigid state. So when we mix the water to the cement, so it will become the hydration process will happen, and it will become like a fluid. So the states changes from fluid to rigid. So fluid to rigid. So rigid state, that is called setting. That is called setting. The term hardening. Hardening refers to gain the strength. Hardening refers to gain the strength of a set of cement paste. So after converting fluid state to rigid state, it gains the strength. Cement will gain the strength. So that portion is called the hardening. So the compounds will have the properties of setting and hardening in the presence of water. The total compounds, whatever present in the cement, so will have the properties of setting and hardening in the presence of water. In the presence of water. So if you mix the water, then only cement will set. Otherwise, it won't set and it won't gain the strength. So as mentioned earlier, the oxides present in the raw materials when subjected to high clinkering temperature and combine with each other to form a complex compounds. Right? So please listen carefully the sentence. So as mentioned earlier, the oxides present in the raw materials when subjected to high temperatures during clinkering process, and they will combine with each other. Clinkers will combine with each other, the compounds, and to form a complex compounds. To form a complex compound. So clinkers will have the materials, a lot of oxides. So that's what we have discussed in the previous slide. So those oxides will combine during clinkering process when they are subjected to high temperatures, and they will form complex compounds. So the identification of major compounds is largely based on Hirsch-Bogy's work, and hence they are called Bogy's compounds. They are called bogus compounds. But during the clinkering process, clinkers subjected to high temperatures. In the clinkers will have the lot of oxides, right? So these oxides will combine each other and they will form the complex compounds. These complex compounds largely based on the Bogy's work. So that's why the complex compounds is called Bogy's compounds. Bogy's compounds. So there are four compounds usually regarded as major compounds are listed in the Bogy's compounds are formed during the clinkering process. So there are four major compounds of Bogy's. So they are the Bogy's compounds: tricalcium silicate, dicalcium silicate, tricalcium aluminate, tetracalcium aluminoferrate. So these are the four major compounds will be present during clinkers subjected to high temperature. Tricalcium silicate. So tricalcium silicate 3CaO The short form will be C3S. So similarly, dicalcium silicate is C2S, and tricalcium silicate is referred to 3 C3A, and tetracalcium aluminiferrite refers to C4AF. So what is CES, C2S, how they have given these names? Means the C stands for CaO. So if you see here, 3CaO SiO2, and S stands for SiO2. C3S C3, yes. So similarly, they have given the formula based on formula. They have given the symbols. So C3S, C2S, C3A, and C4 AF are these four are called Bogies compounds. Bogies compound. So here A refers to Al2O3, and F refers to Fe2O3, and H refers to H2O. Right. So there is major compounds, Bogies compounds. So tricalcium silicate C3S, what is the C3S? So this tricalcium silicate is good cementing material. Tricalcium silicate is good cementing material, well burnt cement, right? So it is about 25 to 50% of cement. Tricalcium silicate will be present in the cement, 25 to 50% of the cement. So it is normally around 40%, right? So it is varying from 25 to 50%. Normally it is 40%. It makes the clinker easier to grind. So C3S will make the clinkers easy to grind and make a powder form. So it increases the resistance to freezing and thawing. It increases the resistance. So basically, so these are the properties of C3S. Increase the resistance to freezing and thawing. So C3S will hydrates rapidly in cement. So generate the high heat and develops early hotness in strength. So it generates high heat and develops an early hardness and strength. The heat of hydration is around 500 joules per gram. So it is going to generate very high heat during hydration process. So this is about tricalcium silicate. So dicalcium silicate. What is dicalcium silicate and how they are going to affect in the cement? So in the cement, these will present 25 to 40%, 25 to 40% present in the cement. It hydrates and hardens. It hydrates and hardens slowly and takes long time to add strength. And takes slowly a long time to add strength. It imports the resistance to chemical attack. And early age C2S will have the influence of the strength and hardness after 1 year. After 1 year, it contributes the same as C3S. But that's what it is. So it is a very slow process, especially the second point. It hydrates and hardens slowly and takes long time. So after 1 year only, it contributes the same as C3S. So whatever C3S is going to contribute, the same thing will contribute after 1 year. C3S. The heat of hydration is 260 joules per gram. So if the dicalcium silicate will have the excess present in the cement, the clinker very harder to grind. And it is going to reduce the strength and decrease the resistance to freezing and thawing at early stages and decreases the heat of hydration. So if the dicalcium silicate excess present in the cement, so these are the three major disadvantages. So it is going to reduce the strength and the clinker is very hard to grind, decreases the resistance to freezing and thawing at early stages and decreases the heat of hydration. Decreases the heat of hydration. So this is about dicalcium silicate. So tricalcium silicate, C3A tricalcium silicate. So in the cement, it is going to present 5 to 11% of the cement. It rapidly reacts to the cement. It is going to rapidly react with the water. It is responsible for quick flash set of finely grounded clinkers. So this will react with water very rapidly. C3A will react with water rapidly, and therefore it is going to set very quickly, and a flash set of finely grinded clinkers. Flash setting is regulated by adding 2 to 3% of gypsum at the time of grinding of the cement. So flash setting can be regulated by adding 2 to 3% of the gypsum during the time of grinding of the cement, so that the flash setting time will reduce. The heat of hydration is 865 joules per gram. Heat of hydration is 865 joules per gram. So it is going to be responsible for tricalcium silicate, responsible for initial set, heat of hydration, and volume changes. Heat of hydration, volume changes. So volume, if it is volume change, means it is going to cause the cracks. So excess reduces the setting time. So the tricalcium aluminate, if it is excess, it reduces the setting time, lowers the ultimate strength of the cement, So this is tricalcium aluminate, C3A. So tetra calcium aluminoferrite. So this is the fourth compound of bogies. So bogies fourth compound is C4AF, tetra calcium aluminoferrite. So the cement will have the 18 to 14%. Cement will have the 18 to 14% of tetracalcium aluminoferrite, and is responsible for flash set and but generates the less heat. So it is going to be responsible for flash set, but it generates the less heat and poorest cementing value. So this is having very poorest cementing value. So if it is excess, it reduces the strength slightly. So even if it is excess, it reduces the strength very slightly. And here of hydration is 420 joules per gram. 420 joules per gram. So this is about tetra calcium aluminoferrite, C4AF. So there are the four bogies compounds, so generally present in the cement. So that's next we'll see the hydration process of the cement. So cement and hydration of Portland cement. So this is the flow chart for the hydration process. So first raw materials of the cement. So raw materials. So these raw materials are limestone, clay, shale, calcareous, and argillaceous materials. And this is having the components of the elements in the raw materials are O2, silica, calcium, aluminum, and ferrous. See, oxide composition of the raw materials are CaO, SiO2, Al2O3, and Fe2O3. So upon burning of the raw materials, so the clinkers will form, right? Upon burning of the raw materials, the clinkers will form. The clinkers compositions, so that's what we have discussed just the previous slide, bogies compounds. So C3S, C2S, C3A, and C4AF. So these are the bogies compounds. So mainly these compounds are present in the cement, Portland cement. So upon grinding of these materials, you will get the different Portland cements. So different types of cement we have discussed already, right? So when we mix with water, Portland cement. So this is the major part. This is the major part of the hydration process. After mixing of water to the cement, the hydration process will start. Hydration process will start in the cement when we mix with water. So upon completion of the hydration process, during the hydration process, you will get the CSH gel and calcium hydroxide. CSH gel and calcium hydroxide. So calcium silicate hydrate gel. CSH gel. So this is the major compound. CSH gel is major compound for the strength gaining of the cement. And CaOH2 calcium hydroxide is the byproduct of the hydration process. Right? So how to use this hydration process, this CaOH2, that we will discuss in the next slides. So this is the general flow diagram for the hydration process. So hydration of the cement and anhydrous cement does not bind with aggregate. Anhydrous cement does not bind with aggregate. So if you mix cement with aggregates, it won't bind. it does not bind with aggregates, right? So there will be separate. If you mix with sand, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate, and cement, if you mix these three also, there are three different components, three different materials. It won't bind, right? It requires an adhesive property when we mix with water. So it acquires the entire mix means cement and aggregate mix. When we mix with water, it acquires adhesive property. So the chemical reaction that takes place between cement and water is called hydration of cement. So the chemical reaction that takes place between cement and water is called hydration of cement. On account of hydration, certain products are formed. So during this hydration process, so certain compounds, certain products will form. So these products are important because they have cementing and adhesive value. So these products are important. So these products are important because they have cementing property or adhesive value. Cementing property or adhesive value. So that's what we have discussed in the previous slide. During the hydration process, the CSH gel will form and the calcium hydroxide. So CSH gel is a binder material. So it will give the strength to the cement. Heat of hydration. So during the hydration process, there are a lot of heat will generate. During hydration process, there is a lot of heat will be generated. A lot of heat will be generated. So the reaction of cement with water is exothermic. The reaction of cement with water is exothermic, which means the heat released during the reaction and it is evolved. The heat is called heat of hydration. So this is the heat of hydration. So during the process of hydration, there are a lot of heat will be evolved. So this is called heat of hydration. The study and control of heat of hydration is important and becomes very important, especially for the mass concreting works. Especially for the mass concreting works. So, for example, if you have very big dam to construct, so you have to do very mass concreting, very huge, very high quality mass concreting. Mass concreting will be there for the especially for the concrete dams. So during that process, heat of hydration will be very high. Heat of hydration will be very high. So this study is very important during the mass concreting works. So it is observed that 50 degrees centigrade above the original temperature of the concrete. The original concrete temperature will be 50 degrees centigrade and above. Right? So typically the normal cement produces 89 to 90 calories per gram of heat in 7 days. In the 7 days, when we mix with water, during 7 days, 89 to 90 calories per gram of heat will generate in 7 days and 90 to 100 calories per gram in 28 days. So this is the normal cement produces the heat. The hydration is not an instantaneous process. Hydration process is not an instantaneous process and it may take years. It may take years to complete the hydration of cement particles. So that's what so when you might have seen when the slab are poured, the slabs are cast. So above the slabs, so they will create a small ponds, right? So they will create small ponds and they pour the water, and the water will be there for the curing, right? So hydration process is not a instantaneous process. It will take a complete hydration process. It may take the years. It may take years to complete the hydration process of the cement particles. So the reaction is faster in early days. Later it continues with the decreased rate. So that's what the cement you might have heard about the strength of the concrete or strength of the cement, strength of the cement or strength of the concrete. So we have to wait for 28 days. So during these 28 days, the concrete will gain the strength around 99%. 99% the concrete or cement will gain the strength during these 28 days. After that, after 28 days, after 28 days, it will decrease the rate of gaining the strength. Rate of gaining the strength will decrease. But hydration process will be happening in the concrete during the after 28 days also. So hydration process is not a that's what we have discussed. Hydration process is not an instantaneous process, right? So the complete hydration will not occur until finely grounded. The complete hydration process will not occur, and it is until they finally grounded. So after 28 days, the cement grains are hydrated only up to a depth of 4 microns. After 28 days, after 28 days of curing, 28 days of curing, the cement gains, the hydrated cement grains are hydrated only up to a depth of 4 microns, up to a depth of 4 microns. The complete hydration under normal conditions is possible only for cement particles smaller than 50 microns. The cement particles is smaller than 50 microns, then it is possible of complete hydration process during normal conditions. If it is more than 50 microns, then it is very difficult to complete the hydration process complete the hydration process under normal conditions. So calcium silicate hydrates. So that's what we have discussed in the previous slides. CSH gel. CSH gel. So C3S plus C2S plus H2. H2O is water, right? So it is going to form CSH gel, CSH gel and calcium hydroxide. CSH gel and calcium hydroxide. So these are two important products. These are two important products during hydration process: CSH gel and CaOH2. So it determines the good properties of the concrete. It determines the good properties of the concrete. So it makes up to 50 to 60% of the volume of solids in a completely hydrated paste. In a completely hydrated paste. So if you see the reactions as a two, so just below here, so 2C3S and 6H is going to form C3S2H3 plus CaOH2. CaOH2. So this is C3S will combine with water. So it is going to take 6H. So if it is 100% C3S and 24% 24 of H2O, and CSH gel will form 75% and calcium hydroxide will is 49% if it is 124. So similarly C2H reacts with 4H and it is also going to form CSH gel and calcium hydroxide. So if it is 100% and 21%, the CSH gel will be 99% and CaOH2 will be 22%. CaOH2 will be 22%. So C3S produces a comparatively lesser quantity of CSS gel. C3S will produce lesser quantity of, see here 75%, and if it is C2S will form 99%, right? So C3S will comparatively will have the less quantity of CSH gel and more quantity of CaOH2 than the C2S. So CaOH2 is not a desirable product in the concrete mass. So CaOH2 is a byproduct. CaOH2 is a byproduct of the concrete mass. So it is not a desirable product for the concrete. So it is soluble in water and gets leached out by making the concrete porous. So if it is present in the cement, if it is present in the cement, concrete, CaO, calcium hydroxide. So it is soluble in water. Calcium hydroxide is soluble in water and gets leached out by making the concrete porous. So CaOH2 will react with water and gets leached out from the concrete. So this will become concrete porous. This will become concrete porous, particularly in the hydraulic structure. It's very difficult. If you are using for hydraulic structure, for example, tank, water tank. So CaOH2 is very dangerous because So it is going to react with water, and the concrete will become porous, and there will be a lot of leakages. There will be a lot of leakage will be there. So especially for the hydraulic structures. In certain conditions, so you can use more percentage of C2S. So you can reduce the C3S percent and you can increase the C2S percentage. So calcium hydroxide, why this calcium hydroxide? So this is the byproduct of the hydration process of C3S and C2S, and it constitutes 20 to 25%, 20 to 25% of the volume of solids in the hydrated paste. In the presence of calcium hydroxide makes the concrete less durable, and the concrete calcium hydroxide also reacts with sulfates in the present in the soils or water and form calcium sulfate, which further reacts with C3A and causes a deterioration of the concrete. So this is also known as sulfate attack. So calcium hydroxide is very dangerous in the concrete. So we have to reduce the calcium hydroxide. How to reduce the calcium hydroxide? On what basis we need to reduce the calcium hydroxide? So how to reduce the calcium hydroxide? Calcium hydroxide we can reduce. Calcium hydroxide we can reduce by using cementitious products. By using cementitious products, or you can say mineral admixtures. Example, by using fly ash, GGBS, silica fume, etc., etc. So fly ash and GGBS will have the silica content. Fly ash and GGBS will have the silica content in this material, and this silica will again react with CaOH2 calcium hydroxide, and it is going to form another CSH gel. It's going to form another CSH gel, another CSH gel, which contributes it contributes the strength in addition to first formed CSH gel, right? So that we can reduce the calcium hydroxide in the concrete, calcium hydroxide in the concrete or cement. The only advantage of calcium hydroxide is being alkaline in nature and maintaining the pH value is around 13 in the concrete, which resists the corrosion in the reinforcement. It will maintain the pH value around 13 concrete in the concrete. See, this is the only advantage of calcium hydroxide, so that which resists the corrosion in reinforcements. So thank you very much. This is about the hydration process. So first of all, we have recollect the what are the different oxides present in the cement, and what are the bogies compounds. So there are four basically major bogies compounds, and what are the advantages, and if they are excess, what is going to happen to the concrete. And then we have discussed the hydration process. We have seen the flow diagram, and during hydration process, what are the products will develop, what are products will develop, and so for example, in the hydration process, we have seen the CSH gel will form on calcium hydroxide, and CSH gel, what is going to happen if it is present in the concrete. So it gains the strength. It will give us the strength in the concrete or cement. And CaOH2, we have discussed what is CaOH2, and how to reduce the CaOH2 by using mineral admixtures. So if you add mineral admixtures into the cement or concrete, what is going to happen? So that's what we have discussed today's class. So thank you very much for your attention.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.